Hi, welcome to my podcast. I am cuddling my latest finished thing. It's a cushion cover. I think, I meant to check actually, but I think I just started it. I think I'd maybe done, where are we? Here. I think I'd maybe done this little bit here 2 weeks ago. And I very quickly worked through this one because it is worked in chunky yarn. Or is it Aran? Aran or Chunky? One or the other. I don't know because actually there was no label. So I'm not sure. One or the other. Anyway, whatever it was, I've then worked it double. I held 2 strands together, which you can see. Yeah. So holding it double meant that I got lots done really quickly. And it's finished. And it's huge. It really is. It's a big cushion. It's a pad that we've had in the house for a couple of years, and it was grey and ugly. It came as a cushion. I think it's a special back support one, so it's quite solid. But my youngest son in particular kept complaining about how ugly it was. It really was a matte grey horrible colour, and it didn't have a nice texture either. So I have done something about it, jazzed it up, brightened our sofa across there, and used up all this yarn, which I got in a charity shop, and all in all I think it was £2 or £2.50 for all of this, and I'm certain that it is Lopi yarn, which comes from Iceland, and yeah, so I got an absolute bargain. It had been unwound and then unwound out of its ball and then rewound into really tight balls. There were snaps and breaks all the way through it. Whoever had tried to knit or crochet in it just hadn't got along with it. You can see it had been frogged because some colours had got mished up in it. So I mean, it wasn't the nicest yarn to work with. But I think because I was holding it double, whenever there were breaks, I just joined in on the last yarn over, new colour, and then knotted them. And because it's a cushion, it didn't really matter. I mean, this green panel, for example, has probably got about 10 ends in that little piece. So it's absolutely chock-a-block with ends. But because it's a cushion, you don't see them. And the yarn is, now it feels lovely. It feels like it's mine. It feels lovely. I haven't made it with any opening. I just did 2 panels, and you can see, if I show you here, so one, the stripes are going that way, and on the other they're going that way, and then I just joined them with a double crochet join. Just join them together, going through, I think I went through both loops. I think I did, to make it good and strong. I went through both loops, or a good chunk if I was on the working into the ends. So I am very, very happy with that. I didn't use a pattern. I just kind of chained the right length, held it up against the cushion, added a bit because cushions, you want them to be quite snug. The corners on this are a little bit floppy and loose, but that's because the cushion itself actually had a seam down here, and I just to keep it really simple, I could have done a panel. I considered it, doing 2 squares and then a strip that went all the way around, but I decided to just keep things super simple and go with 2 squares and join together. So I just chained, and then with enough stretch so that it had negative ease, that's what we call it, if you haven't come across that term before. So it's negative ease if the thing is shorter than it should be, and it's positive ease if it's looser. So if, for example, a loose floaty cardigan would have positive ease, but socks tend to have negative ease. And then I just did half trebles or half double crochets if you're in US terms, and just changed the yarn when it ran out to make absolute maximum use of it. All I have left of this are 2 little balls of the cream that had all been rolled into one ball that was about this size, honestly. I don't know if it was 4 or 5 balls of that yarn, loads. Anyway, it had all been balled up, and I've just got 2 small balls of that left and 1 small ball of the burgundy. And the charity shop I got it from still has a few colours of this left in colours I didn't like very much. There's a yucky green colour, It's kind of neither mint nor bright nor foresty. It's just a yucky, feehy, we would say in Scotland, green. I don't like it, so I left that one. So I might try and get them back to the same charity shop, and then there might be someone, and there's several balls of black, and if you know me at all, you know that unless it's perhaps eyes on an amigurumi project, or if a family member that I really love asks me, I will work in black, but otherwise I do not work in black. I don't like black. I don't even like touching black. I'm just funny about black. Never have liked it, probably never will. And so there's 2 balls of black as well. And if you're local and you're in around the Carnoustie, Scotland area, that is in the Haven on Carnoustie High Street opposite the Premier, and you like Lopi yarn, it's been sitting there a couple of weeks. I imagine it'll still be sitting there if you get in by the weekend. If not, maybe even longer. But if you want it, I would get there quickly if you are local, because I do know I have a few local followers and supporters, so maybe that's you. Okay, so I finished this. Really happy. I think it's the only thing I finished, unless you count the sock. I have finished 1 sock. Ta-da! It's a knitted sock, so this one's not crochet, it's for me. I do a little bit of knitting, mostly I crochet, but I do like to have 1 knitted project on the go at a time. So I finished this sock, and I've really cracked on with the other one as well. The yarn had a big knot in the ball, so I was able to leave that there. Quite a good safe point for showing you on my podcast. But the second one, I've done the heel and I've done the gusset, and I've just started to work on the foot. So these are cuff down. If I'm doing vanilla socks, it's always Winnick Mum's pattern. That's Christine Perry. You can find her basic socks pattern for free on her blog. So that's what I'm doing with these. And on the last podcast, I had been working them to around about the same time. Last podcast, I had both of them at this point. I'd done the leg and the heel flap, and I was ready to start on the heel turn on the pair of them. So I just have the foot and the toe on this one. These are for me, so I'm chuffed with them. I think they're a good colour for me, and the yarn is gorgeous. It's from Rusty Ferret, who is an Aberdeen based yarn dyer, and the main colourway is called Alien. I've got the band here, it is balled up as well, so here's the rest of the ball, and there is the band with all the little ferrets with their wee masks on. So Alien, and it is a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, your standard indie yarn base. Really like it, and the contrast, I don't have a band for it, but the contrast is this lilac, and it's not a solid colour either, it's a semi-solid, and I chose them to go together, and hubby bought them for my birthday. I didn't know they were coming, I did get to choose the colours myself. So yeah, birthday yarn socks for me. So they're coming along nicely, and I need to finish them because today actually was supposed to be the day that the Shetland Wool Week new hat design was announced, and the new Shetland Wool Week patron. That was all going to be announced today, but there's been issues with COVID up there on Shetland, and they've had to postpone that to next week, which gives me the rest of the week. I've got my hat, it's in this bag already. It gives me the rest of the week to finish this sock, because I tend to only have 1 knitting project on the go at a time. So I'll get these finished by next Thursday. I've been granted another week, and that way, as soon as the new pattern is released, I'll be able to crack on with that, because I have quite a lot of Shetland yarn in my oddball stash. Yeah, the oddball in that, so I'm sure I'll be able to pull together colours and at least make my first one, get cracking with that. And I might, well, it depends on the design, depends how much I like it. I might go ahead and buy one of the kits or make a second one. We'll see. Last year I made 2 of the hats. It was Duck Crofter's Kep I don't have it kicking about. No, I don't. I can see my Katie's kip, which is this one. I can see that across the room. I actually had that on the other night. It's still in the evening. It can be quite cold here still. So I did have that on last week sometime. I still haven't put it away. It's sitting over there. So that is, it's not quite all my knitting news. Yesterday, I wore a shawl for, I've worn it a few times, but do you know, I've never taken any photos of it. I've never shown it on this podcast because it's something I finished in the first lockdown back in 2020. I started it early on in lockdown, and it's a knitted shawl, and it's my own design. It's the first knitted thing I've ever designed, but don't worry, I'm not going to become a knitting designer. I enjoyed working on this and making up the pattern and just going with it, not writing anything down other than the odd scribble to myself because it is worked in panels, as you can see. And they pick up, if I remember rightly, I started with one triangle, and then when I started the second one, I picked up on the edge of the first one. So, and then of course the next one, so I knit, and at each end of each row on one side picked up, which is why we've got the sort of lacy hole. I pull that in, you can see. So as you can tell, it's a scrappy it's not a blanket, it's a scrappy shawl. I do like my scrappy projects, and it is all done in DK. And let's pop it on and let you see. Stand up. So I put it on yesterday. I was wearing it yesterday, and I realised that I hadn't taken a single photo of me wearing it ever. There's quite a lot of projects I do that with. I finish them and I'm really chuffed. I've got them finished and I just go on to the next thing, and they are not photographed. I can see I've got a pair of socks over there that I have not taken a picture of. And I should, because they're actually a design of my own and I have not taken a picture of them yet. And I'm still waiting for to take photos, but I'll get my son to do these ones, for the tweed with a twist scarf. I haven't done that yet. I shall, do you know what, when I finish this, do you know what, actually I'll get my diary, it's to hand because I've scribbled some notes, and I'm going to chase up about photos. Right now I'm going to add that in because I want to get that tweed with a twist pattern. I do want that to be released this month. There. Chase up Neil photos. Because he has finished his second year at Duncan of Jordanson College of Art in Dundee. He's finished that, so he should have a bit of time in his hands and he'll be able to take some pictures for his old mum. I'd like some new profile pics as well. It was last September that I took the one of me with the mug, and I'd quite like something new. So see if we can combine those two. That would be good. I'm probably going to take this off because it is warmer today. But I thought I'd show you that because obviously it was pre-podcast days, and I just love the colours, I love its scrappiness, I love its warmth. Don't know if I said it's double knitting, so it is quite cosy, and I'm really chuffed with it. It's the biggest thing I've ever knitted as well. So yeah, aren't the colours just dreamy? They look totally different from how they would look in Scrappy Crochet. I really like the bumps on the garter stitch. Yeah, liking that a lot. So from one Scrappy to another, I think these things definitely lead on. Here is my Scrappy blanket, and I have done, just trying to look for the marker, here we go. I've done all that in the last 2 weeks, which is a bit. It's more than nothing. It's slowly getting there. I know I've just got a few people saying, when will it be ready? And it will. If I keep going and doing that much each time, it'll steadily grow, and before I know it, it'll be ready. Also, if I stop starting new projects, it'll be ready faster. you know that's not going to happen, right? So yeah, really pleased with some of the colour combinations I've come up with. I love this bit I've kind of been working on since the last podcast. It's kind of makes me think of sweeties. Is it tutti fruttis or fruit salad sweeties? When I was little, makes me think of that. Those nice bright colours. Yeah, and I like this bit with the purple and dusty pink and peachy colour. Yeah, I really enjoyed choosing colours for this. They are in no way randomly chosen on this one. I take quite a lot of time actually pulling out colours, testing them, changing them, and then of course you get further down, so although immediately they might go really well, maybe when you get to here there's a bit of a surprise, and I like that element of it as well. So it's a bit of both. I hope you like that one. I could always cheat and make the blanket go this way, and then it's not got too much more to go. That is an idea that I am toying with. So instead of making it go this way, in which case it's only about 1/4 of the size it needs to be, if I suddenly turn it this way, it probably only needs to be about another 1/4 across, if that makes sense. I'd have to look at it flat and measure it, but could do that. I think they look better if it's on a bed or a cot or whatever. I think the stripes look better going across the way, but I can see this one working up and down the way. Is that just cheating? Let me know in the comments. It would be a sort of toddler bed, or I could make it more square, make it a lap sort of blanket. We shall see. Is it cheating? Yeah. I don't know. I can make my own mind up, can I? Okay, so I got one more project to show you, and before that I'm going to tell you about the crochet project's latest, I've got this little bit of paper, latest mystery crochet along. The crochet project used to be run by Kat Golden and Joanne Scrace, and now it's simply Joanne on her own because Kat has problems with her wrist and Joanne has taken over the business there, and I really like their patterns. Obviously back a couple of years back they were written by both Joanne and Kat, and I loved them both, and now it's just Joanne and I've been really enjoying her patterns. She did, oh gosh, yes, mind went blank, the log off MCAL that I did at the start of the year. Do you remember that blanket that had the diamonds and then the sort of log cabin sections that came out from it? So Joanne designed that one, and I've also made lots of their other shawls. In particular, there's a blue and orange one which is Mist Kingfisher that I wear all the time. So this summer there is the Easterval shawl, and Easterval apparently is an old word meaning to do with summer. That's all that means, and this is the inspiration for it. Because it's a mystery crochet along, it means that we don't know what the shawl's going to look like. And for those of you who don't even know what a crochet along is, that's when lots of people get together and work on a pattern at the same time, posting pictures, cheering each other on, asking questions. There's normally groups, etc. And yeah, it's a really fun kind of social way of making something together. And because it's a mystery one, that generally means that pattern will come out in sections, maybe every week. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks. I think in this case it'll be every week. And in the past the crochet project ones have been on a Friday. I'm not sure if they are a Friday this time, but they're generally on a Friday. So you just get that little bit of time to work on each part, and you don't know what's coming next, which is lovely. It's quite nice, and the pattern itself, there might be a chart or two, but there aren't even photos of what it should be looking like, which it makes you, well, it makes me anyway, read the pattern more, because I am terrible for taking the photo and the first few bits of the pattern and then just carrying on and doing my own thing. I am really, really bad at that. So it does make me slow down and read the pattern. And I do try not to go online immediately and see other people's photos to find out what I should be doing. It's quite nice to just work blind, I suppose. So I printed out this little, just to have something to show you, because I am an affiliate for this, so the links below will be affiliate links. But I'm really happy about it and I wanted something to share. And the other new thing about this one is that the Crochet Project have just launched a new hub, and that is the wonderful membership scheme where you can go online and there are once you've joined, there are stitch dictionaries, there's inspiration, there is lots of information, things like tension, gauge swatches, how to hold yarn, all sorts, a huge resource of things that Joanne has produced over the years, and it's all in one place for you. And there are a couple of patterns on there already, and this shawl, the Easterbell shawl, is going to be hosted on there, so the pattern will be only available on there, so it's not going to be on Ravelry or anywhere else. It'll only be available on there, and like I say, it's a membership, so it is a subscription, which at the moment is only £2 per month, and you do need a code, which is hub intro, but I'll put that in the description as well. So hub intro gives you at £2 for, I think it's the first 3 months. Pretty sure it's the first 3 months. Could just be the first one. I will double check that and I'll put that in the description as well, because now I'm talking, I am doubting myself. And it's normally £5, so it's not going up too much. But you know, at £2 you could go and check it out, pay your £2 for doing the shawl if you like, but I am sure I've had a look round, I've joined, I've put a wee hello in the forum, and I think it's going to be great. I certainly intend to stay, and I hope some of you will be intrigued and want to join the crochet along. I know lots of you did the log off one back in January. I didn't do it, but there was the trellis one last summer. It's one of the few MCALs that I haven't done actually. For some reason that one just didn't spark my imagination, so, or I was busy as well. I think I had too many whips on, but that one just wasn't for me, so yeah. But this one does look really good. You see the colours? That's the other thing I was going to tell you about. The colours are these lovely bright brand new leaf greens and the delicate pinky blossom. Absolutely gorgeous. And Vicky Brown Designs, who is one of my favourite indie yarn designers as well, is producing kits. Can I say that any higher? Kits for that one. And there are 3 kits available. There's one in these colours, taken exactly from the photo. It's absolutely beautiful. So there's it. Each kit is 2 skeins of yarn, because that's all you need for the shawl. And it's a kid silk mix. I think it's got silk. Silk, can't remember what the other component is. Sorry, totally gone from my mind. And I can't reach my laptop to double check that one anyway. It'd take me a minute. Go and check it out for yourself. I will put the link to the yarn there as well. So there are 3 options. So there's this one, just 2 skeins. One is the green and one is that delicate pink. Gorgeous combo. The other one is a blue and creamish with touches of bluey green. So there's one more solid blue and the other one's cream with a little bit of blue. And the third set is a purplish one with a creamy yellow kind of colour. So there's 3 options. I bought mine. I put it out to my newsletter as well. That'll be going out tomorrow morning, and I'm not saying which one I've bought, but I have bought my kit, and there is a 10% code for that as well. If you were to join the hub, you will see the link for that and you'll be able to get the code for the yarn from there. That would be the best way to go about it, because like I say, the only place the pattern will be available will be in the hub. So you need to get your pattern and see about your kit. And the kits are exclusive as well. So I think I got mine yesterday or the day before. There's still plenty around then. I don't know how scarce they're going to be. I guess it all depends how popular this one is, but I think it's going to be a good one. The yarn does look gorgeous. And of course, you don't have to use the specified yarn. You can use any yarn you like. You can go stash busting. I think it is 4-ply. It is. I don't think it is 4-ply weight, and you could stash bust, and something light, something perhaps with some silk in it would be lovely, because there are lacy elements. That is the only other clue. So it's a shawl and it's got lacy elements, and you need 2 100-gram skeins with a bit of a contrast between the two. So exciting! I can't wait. I think it all kicks off July, I want to say July 7th. Early in July it all kicks off. So you've got a wee while to get your yarn together and have a think about that. So links for that will be in the description, and anything else that I've been babbling on about, I try and put the links in the description as well. So if you want to check out any of the patterns or the yarn, then that's where you'll find them. Okay, I've got something in my pocket because we were talking about charity shop things, and I just got these wooden buttons just now. I was out with the dog and I had a bag of stuff to hand into the charity shop. So it's a dog friendly charity shop. That's the same one, by the way, that I got the Lopi in, which is why I know the Lopi. The other colours, the black and the lovely green, are still there. These buttons were just sitting there. They're wooden. They look like they've maybe been cut off something, because they've still got a good sheen on them, or they've maybe been bought for something and never used. They have certainly not been through the washing machine more than once, because they are they haven't dried, they haven't split or anything. But whoa, how many are there? 8 maybe? 3, 4, 7. There's 7, and I got them for 50p. And the dog was happy because she gets fed biscuits by the owner, so she was very, very happy. She pulled me in the shop. We were walking along, and she knows that she gets a biscuit or 2 in that shop, so she yanked me into the shop. Turns out we were going anyway. She tries to pull us in if we're going past on a Sunday and they're not open. She'll try and pull us in, or in the evening, when they're not open, she'll be like, "But I get biscuits in here, please." Silly dog. And she's not the only dog either, because the main owner does love dogs, and there's a tin of biscuits behind the counter, and I've seen other dogs pulling to get in as well, so they really get made a fuss of. So I have one more project to show you. I think, yeah, one more project and one more thing to chat about. Just looking at my notes there. So I've started this one just the other day. Did I start Saturday? Maybe Saturday or Sunday I started this one. And it is the November Sky Beanie by the Cozy Cottage Crochet. And it's something that's been in my library on Ravelry for a long, long time. I think it was at least a year ago that Hannah, this is Hannah Siegmund's pattern. I think she had a plea, she was saving up money for, I think, new clothes for a cute wee baby or something. There was something that she was like, "Please buy my patterns," and she put a nice little code, and I jumped on that, bought this one, and then the pattern has sat in my library. So I had the yarn I'm using, sorry my chair keeps creaking, I'm using merino. It is the Schachenmeyer merino extra fine 120, so it's 120 meters per 50-gram ball, and this is the yarn I was using for my Dutch Houses cal. And I had 2 and a bit balls left over, and I'm making this. I am going to try it on for you. I've got my, here we are, So I'm making it with a bit of slouch, as you can see there. And the only change I've made to the pattern so far is I added two, it's one that started at with the ribbing. So you started working the ribbing in rows and then started going around and round. So I added 2 stitches to the ribbing, and that's the only change I've made so far. It's worked in the round, but as you can see, it's not got that slight angle on it that things worked in the round often get, because it's worked in the round but you change right side, wrong side at the end of each round. So you're not going round and round, which most of my designs tend to do. You are switching, changing direction and going back on yourself, and it gives you this really cool effect, which is, I guess it's different to all the hats that I've made, which I do tend to work without the turn. So maybe that's why it's jumping out at me as being different. But I'm liking it. Yeah. You have to watch, you have to be careful, and you need to know which stitches are your first and your last. You can either put a marker in, or you can, if you know what you're doing, you're fine. So that'd be the only thing to watch out for, because your slip stitch into your chain at the end can look like a stitch, or you could miss the first one. But once you've done a few rounds, you can see the pattern, and if you just check your number of stitches as well at the end of the round for the first few, you'll make sure that you're on track. So it's made with some front post and back post stitches to make these V's. And yeah, the first, I got quite a bit up it, and then I realised that I'd done the V and I'd worked both sections of the V into the one stitch, and it wasn't until I got to the next V that I could not work out how to place it, and that's when I realised that I'd done that thing where I take the photo and half read the words and mucked it up. So frog, and yeah, we got there. So don't ever ask me to pattern test either. I cannot pattern test because I just do my own thing without even realising, and then realise that, yeah, I was supposed to be checking that for someone. So apologies if I never take up your pattern test offers. I think I tried it once, and yeah, it just wasn't for me. One thing I am quite good at, if you've written a pattern and you want me to cast my eye over it, I am quite good at spotting, I wouldn't say like tech editing in the sense of the sort of technical aspect of it, but I'm good at spotting that, you know, say this bit's in italics, say you've done your stitch count, you know, at the end of this row it's not in italics, at the end of all the other rows it is. So I'm good at spotting little things like that. And the use of language, making sure that it's consistent, the use of fonts, bold, italics, like I say, that kind of thing. But if you ever want me to check out a pattern that you've written and give you a little bit of feedback there, perhaps before it goes to testers or tech editors, I'm happy to run my eye over it. Just give me a shout, and I'll happily do that for you. As an aside. So I think that is everything. No, there was a thing I was going to tell you about. So a few weeks back I mentioned, sorry, my chair does keep creaking, I picked a bad one. There, I'll try and sit still. No, it's still creaking. I don't know how well the camera, maybe the camera isn't even picking it up, maybe it's just something I'm aware of. And I'll take a sip of tea and that'll slow me down. There. Yes. So a few weeks back I hinted that I am working on a collaboration this year, and that I started with the design by Katie Bird, and I have taken her design. She worked out an illustration for me that's got foxglove and a couple of bees on it, and it's so cute, and it's in dreamy greens and purples, soft colours with a little hint of brights. And my next step was to work with a yarn designer, and I'm not going to say who the yarn designer is at the moment, but the yarn designer has taken the drawing and turned it into beautiful, beautiful yarn. I am really, really, really happy with it. It's getting posted up to me to see for myself next week. So I've only seen photos. I saw it in the dye bath and I've seen it now that it's dried and skeined, and I'm really happy to proceed with that. So the next step is going to get sent up to me next week, and I'm going to do some designing, taking the drawing, taking the yarn, and I'm going to design in the two of them, and that will be a cal. It's not going to be a mystery cal, it will just be a cal, and that will be coming out, I'm hoping, late August, early September, but there's still more to come. It's not just, there's still more than just what I've mentioned so far. There are other elements coming in that are huge, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be an exclusive opportunity, and it's coming together. So I've been working on that. I sat this morning and did a great big brainstorm, worked out all the little, now that it is beginning to come together. Initially it was just a little bit in my head, but now it is getting real. If I'm getting yarn sent next week, then it's real, right? So that is coming together, and so I've written down all the steps that I need to take between now and launching, and yeah, it looks good. And I can't wait to hint some more. I think at the next podcast I will show off the yarn, but I'll probably share it with my email list first. So if you're not on my mailing list yet, I'll put the link to that in the description as well. Jump on that, because that's where I'm putting all the hints first, because folks on my mailing list are special and they get first dibs on all sorts of news and the biggest discount codes as well, for whatever, for pattern releases, etc. There's always 5% more goes out to my mailing list than goes out on Instagram or my blog. So if you're not already, sign up to my mailing list, and you'll be first to know, because I'll share it there, and then I'll share it here probably in 2 weeks' time. I may even have a little bit of the design, because I'm not going to make it a mystery design. I am going to show off the design, so I might have that started for then too. And I do think that that is it now. I am meeting with my mum later this afternoon. She is popping in, and it'd be good to catch up with her. I think she had some, I haven't seen them yet, but she had some shawl blockers coming, you know, the big long pins. She had some of them coming this week, which will be great for the, I'm hoping, I don't know what sort of shape. I don't know if it's going to be a rounder one or a more of a, I mean the log off one was a rectangle, so maybe I've gone completely wrong, but Mum and I anyway. She has those pins coming, and she's also got the sort of T-bar ones that kind of look like a comb. She's got some of them coming. So I will be excited about getting to use them soon, because she keeps the mats up at her house and she's got pins and everything up there. So that's where I do my blocking. So I'll get to use them too. So she might have them this afternoon. It'll be good to see them for real. I think I've only ever seen them in pictures, those fancy pins. I could really have done with them with the log off shawl, because it took quite a long time. I think eventually we used, we kind of cheated, we used double pointed needles, some long aluminium ones. They were really long, like that length, old ones, vintage ones, and I managed to thread that through because I wanted the edges to be really straight. And that's when I said, Mum, you actually get these pins for it. So she looked into it, and she does a lot of shawl knitting. She's not so much crocheter, but she does lots of shawl knitting, and I know she's about to cast on a lovely brioche knit. So she'll be looking for the pins for that. So I am off to meet my mum and crack on with these projects. I'll hopefully have the socks and the hat finished by next time, not the scrappy blanket. Sorry about that. But that's my plan. I hope you've got good crochet plans for the weekend. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.